thank you to our premier partner, Pinata. Pinata makes it simple to store and retrieve media on IPFS and build social applications with Farcaster. Visit pinata.cloud for all the power tools for IPFS and Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Monday, June 24th, and you are here with Nownish Prop and Adrian for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And yeah, I can't believe it's the last week of June. This is a little crazy, but here we are. Last week.
Happy summer.
Happy summer. We are here. So happy on-chain summer.
Yes.
On-chain summer.
Isn't that implied?
Not just summer.
Isn't that implied? Summer. Is there any other type of summer?
Of course not. No, this is the only summer we accept. So you had a great little Friday. We haven't had a chance to talk yet since the writing hackathon. And we did stream to those who were attending, but we do have that those recordings. So I'm not sure if we're going to release those or not, but they were just kind of brief, but we had a blast.
Why not? Maybe we should drop the intro,
we should drop
welcome
the intro
remarks, because that was fun.
And also it might be helpful if anyone still wants to write and participate. That might be useful. So how did everything go for you in New York City?
Want to hear what it's like planning permissionless events?
How did it go?
Like once the hackathon's over, all my notifications get filled with like, oh, I just found out about this. Can I participate now? Yeah, sure. Do it.
Sure, it's fine.
Sure. Here's
this is like me. This is like me at the end of a semester. I forgot to turn that thing in.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Fine.
Oh, the New York City in-person hackathon was awesome.
Oh, good.
And I probably had about 20 people and good conversation. Variant like stuffed us with food all day. They were great hosting. And some people sat and wrote. Some people did a lot of kind of like talking out ideas, which then they said would feed into the writing, which will continue over the week. I met new faces. Like it wasn't just the same old names you see on your feed every day. And I think it's really cool. There was someone who was even somewhat newish to Farcaster who had heard about it and jumped at the opportunity.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, had been in crypto and kind of decentralized social for a while, but somewhat newish. Yeah, vibes were good.
Vibes are good. The URL one, similar. There were people in there that I had never interacted with and didn't know and had met. And that I thought that was great because you're sort of attracting not just the usual suspects, you know, you're bringing in like other folks who have different interests. And I think that's perfect. Like that's exactly what this should be. So yeah, it was fantastic. And the little gather thing that Ted set up was really cute. And yeah, so I thought everything went great. And I still haven't written anything.
Are you going to?
Yes, I have a list of things. Yes, I have a list of like 5 things I wanted to write. If I get one of them done, I'll be excited. And I will for sure. So that is, yeah, definitely on my list again for today, my to-do list. And after
the deadline is Friday, right? I mean, people love a deadline.
Yeah. I just said that. I need deadlines. Or things don't get done.
People love a deadline.
I work good under pressure.
Yeah. And I had some people requesting that the hackathon, like just make it a 24-hour, like a one day, because if you give me more time, it'll never get done.
That's why it didn't get done on Friday.
Yeah. Mine's not done.
You gave me too much time.
Mine is not done either.
And then after the hackathon, folks went to the summer solstice, and this looked amazing, but apparently it was broken up by the cops. It was so good. It is now the first Farcaster party to be shut down. It said by the OP. So my joke back to Luciano was, why did the Optimism Foundation shut down the party? He meant the cops. No. He meant the opposition, not the Optimism Foundation. OP.
Oh, I didn't.
Anyway, it was a joke that fell very flat. But it did look like a blast. This summer solstice party looked amazing. It was on a rooftop in Williamsburg and in New York City, and Jack was DJing, and they were projecting lights onto this church. It looked really cool. So kudos for everybody who went there and organized.
It was hot.
Was that Caro again? I think it was Caro, right?
Yeah.
So great job organizing that. And what a fantastic event this looked like. So in other news, we're going streaking. I loved this meme.
Can someone, I want the Frank the Tank voice. I'm not doing
streaking. So yeah, so a few things happened. Here's what happened Friday, or last week, I should say, or recently. Our top, this is from Dan, from DWR.eth. Our top priority right now is increasing the supply of interesting and entertaining content on Farcaster, because apparently Adrian and I are not enough. So we are not providing enough interesting and entertaining content.
Yeah, I'd legit take that personal.
We're very offended, Dan. Very offended. We've shipped the following in the last week. 1, longer cast. 2, narrow cast. 3, reply bumping is back in home feeds. 3 again. I think he meant 4. Channel rituals, cast drafts, trending cast notifications, X mentions experiment, and then it said, and maybe something else coming in hot end of the day. Check out FC updates for more details, which I keep forgetting about that channel. And then the last 2 things were channel streaks. That's why we're going streaking, and muted keywords. So did you start a streak is my question. Adrian?
I started a streak in GM Farcaster. Oh my God. Can we?
Too much. Too much.
Cover your eyes. I need a warning. Okay.
Sorry. Blame Bitfloor Ghost. It was his fault.
I was not going to start a streak because it's not really my style to be growth hacking. I don't need like more reasons to bring me to Farcaster. Artificial.
Right. True.
But then I saw you start a streak in GM. I also didn't know what channel am I starting a streak in.
Right.
So I thought about doing my Adrian channel, but then I saw you start a streak in GM Farcaster, and obviously,
and you became competitive.
What? And then obviously I wanted to also support and get the word out about GM Farcaster and just see if I could beat you in a streak.
Yeah,
just saying.
It's what it came down to. And chances are, and you said like, who's going to last longer? And I'm like, either I'll be out next week when I finally take a few days off, or you the next time you go on vacation. One or the other.
Yeah.
Who knows? One or the other will happen. And you know, it's interesting that you mentioned.
Do replies? Here's my question: do replies into a channel count as a streak? Does
I
it
don't
have
think
to be
so.
Rootcast?
Oh. Rootcast. Yeah, Rootcast for streaks.
How about QuoteCast? That must count.
Yeah. The Rootcast is what we're looking for. And I thought, you know, your point about growth hacks, I thought this was interesting. It was a little aggressive, I thought, but it was interesting. I think there were some good points here. This is from 7858.eth. When a founder actually deserves a cult of personality, we should be at our most skeptical. Troubling to see the monoculture of enthusiasm for what looks to me like a rare product misstep. And this was a quote-cast of his first comment, which was, streaks are one of the most potent growth hacks. They'll probably be part of an accomplishment system, another unholy beast of addicted user retention. This will almost certainly juice the DAU numbers. This will not improve the discourse. Do I feel the urge to say a thing strongly enough to post it for its own sake? This is a healthy filter. I'm going to just continue and finish this off. It's a little long. Endorphin gambling with tips, simulated accomplishments, etc., disrupt the natural flow of conversation. Prioritizing the Q and qDAU is how Dan got us all here in the first place. It's too early to start leaning toward the DAU side. Streaks implicitly ask the S-tier content fountains at the heart of this app to give even more of themselves to the network. Here's a falsifiable prediction. At after an initial surge, most top users will burn out on streaks. It will become the near exclusive provenance of low effort posters. Overall content quality will drop, DAU will drop, and Dan, in his godlike product wisdom, will jack the feature out. Love and respect to Dan and V. So,
yeah, that's what I meant to say. That's why I was not doing streaks from the beginning, but now I have a streak.
I thought this was an interesting thought here. Like, it was an interesting comment. And I said, I had commented back, I don't, disagree that yes, it can be a growth hack and may lead to some not great content or just, for the sake of itself. But I can see a couple potential benefits. Like if I look at something like Lounge and what Cameron's been doing, and that is essentially streaks, but in a different way, right? Where you're asking a question every day and saying, please answer this. But there's a streak involved in doing that. And that has been very high quality content. So I can see examples where it will be, yes, it will be something that's not great, and other instances where it could be very useful and actually lead to quality. And another example of that is Fred Wilson. So I thought this was a great comment here from Fred. Hi casters, I love the idea of streaks. I use this mechanic to build a very large and loyal following of readers on the ABC blog. I posted there every day for something like 17 years. That was a hell of a streak. The psychology of streaks is so powerful, so I'm taking advantage of the new streaks feature in Farcaster and starting a streak in the ABC channel. So I think we'd all agree we'd like to see Fred Wilson casting more. So that to me was like, okay, that was a win. And I also could see this being super helpful to new Farcasters, like just to kind of set themselves a goal. Like we were just talking about deadlines. Everyone kind of sometimes needs that thing that helps them, even if you do cast a lot, or maybe you're choosing a different channel, maybe you're choosing something to focus on that's a little different. I, of course, went for the easy. But I did have that thought process too, of like, maybe down the line, I'll pick a different channel to do this if I wanted to improve on something or spend more time in a particular area. So plus and minuses, I guess.
Yeah. I actually do love the streaks after this weekend, having think about it. I think it's a great idea. Will it encourage some bad behavior in terms of someone kind of posting crap for the sake of keeping their streak? Yes. But I think generally like raise the entire ocean of cast content. And if, and then you can start filtering and highlighting the good. So like there's always going to be low qDAU, L qDAU. And I think there's ways to then identify and make it so we don't see it. What if we called them habits instead of streaks? Does that change? Because habits seem like,
but
when you talk about kind of the daily.
Yeah, like maybe, but then we can't use this, and that would be sad.
But I just think of like the Fred Wilson, like, oh, you wrote daily. That's an incredible habit to create. And I'm struggling on my two a month writing.
Are you really? You usually do pretty well with it.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Yeah, I think
I do it. It's
I go through phases. So I went through that period of time with writing, and I was hoping to kick it back in with the writing hackathon, and I just still haven't quite gotten there, where I was doing like a daily writing for about a month and tried to continue that. And it's hard. It's really hard, especially writing, I think, is very difficult. Long form writing. Short form, obviously, we're casting every day, but long form writing with thought and, sometimes research or whatever, it takes a lot more time. So it's a little harder to do. So daily, I'm impressed that he did something like that daily. That's pretty impressive. Twice a month, I think, is perfect, but it can still be, sometimes you're just not in the mood. It's hard to get the motivation. Sometimes you're just freaking busy.
Sometimes life. Okay.
Life is busy. But yeah. So I do think there's some benefit, especially, you could even do long form ish content on here as well. So it could be a longer form straight.
No, don't do it.
I was waiting for that. Oh, okay. We've got a few other things that went live, including this X experiment. And a lot of people are like, what does this mean? This is from Dan again, new experiment on Warpcast for a small group of users. We're starting to generate in-app and push notification for X mentions. So, i.e., when you link to a tweet and the user is on Farcaster and we've manually mapped X to FC, that user gets a notification similar to a quotecast. If the experiment is successful, we will likely roll out a way for anyone to opt in to linking their XFC accounts to get similar notifications. This is why I've been casting links to tweets more recently, testing out the feature. So that's really interesting, especially because, I mean, that's going to take some work because they're not the same necessarily username and things like that. So yeah, I think that's an interesting way to tie these two things together and feel like you're, if you are tweeting, that it does connect back is helpful, I think. And also might drive others to then cast what they were tweeting about. So yeah, that's what I'm guessing is the goal here. But I did think that was interesting. We also have this muted keywords. So this is from V, Feature Friday, muted keywords, add words or phrases to your mute list to remove them from your feed. Here are some examples of things you can try. And he filtered out Dan Romero and DWR. So I thought that was pretty funny. Although Horsefacts had a better idea. Nearly forgot we can now performatively screenshot our mutes to cast public aspirations and unwanted content. And I know we weren't going to talk about it, and we're not going to talk about it, but I did think this was a good use of mute because Horsefacts has muted out Hawk Tua from his feed.
Sorry. I promised we would talk about it for 0.0 seconds.
So it was like 0.1 second. But it was a good use. However, really good use of muted keywords, because I was thinking about like, what do I want to mute? And there was really nothing I could think of to mute. This is a great example of something. I don't really care that much about this one, but I could see something like this happening in the future where I'm like, okay, I've had enough of this.
A temporary mute when when someone takes it for your feed.
Yeah. So far I have not muted anyone, but we'll see. If you're in the chat, let us know if you've muted any words. We'd love to know. Or if you're doing any streaks. I'd love to know what channels you're streaking in. This also from Feature Friday from V suggested follows. Warpcast has a new algo to suggest users based on your interests and follow graph. This will help new users build up their following on Farcaster. Suggestions will show up on web and mobile and can be dismissed. If you dismiss a lot of suggestions, they'll show up less frequently. So, and shout out to Bias and Six, who are the example suggestions, who I follow both of them already. So there you go. Highly recommend you do as well, if you're not already. Moving on, we have this from Sanjay. There we go. Released Hubble 1.13.2 with a crash fix. Thanks, Cassie. Please upgrade for improved stability. We're also planning to min version 1.13.1 early next week, so all hubs support long casts. We're noticing some sync issues due to older hubs that don't support it. So if you're running a hub, please make sure that you're upgraded, and because otherwise you will going to have problems. This is really interesting. So these next two casts are related. Apps can sponsor, this is again from V, apps can sponsor on-chain fees when using Farcaster Connect. Create an account for your app, fill it up with warps, and provide a signature when initiating Farcaster Connect. Warpcast will deduct warps from your account for the on-chain transaction, and your users can connect for free. And then he also shared this. Over 20K users signed into another app using Farcaster last week. Here are the top 10 websites people are signing into. And I thought this was really interesting. Naynar, of course, but wildcard.lol was right at the top. Like, that's interesting. Club.onefootball.com. I have no idea what that is. I don't even know what that is. I had never even heard of that one. So that's impressive. I'm assuming it is something soccer related or football, depending on where you live. I don't think the NFL's involved. Alpha Friends, Dracula, Rounds, Zora, Scoop, Ham, and Pearl. So interesting, though. There are a couple that surprised me at the top of this list that are getting a lot of sign-in with Farcaster. So very interesting to see and exciting to see this expanding. So very cool. I'm coming back.
Yeah, 20,000. I mean, it's still small, but it's not nothing.
It's not nothing.
And this is, yeah.
It's not nothing.
A nice diversity of apps. It's exciting.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, how many apps are you citing in using Twitter? 0. 0 is the answer. So there you go. Because unless you're paying $1 jillion for their API. This was really, really interesting. So I experimented with Snickerdoodle. So this is from me, experimenting with Snickerdoodle, earn rewards for sharing our frame and get ready for CastOut finale on Thursday. So Snickerdoodle, really interesting new project. I guess they have been around for a while. Met with them last week, but they just recently started doing this sort of experiment with doing ads, essentially ad serving on here. And it's really kind of fascinating how well it worked. So it was an interesting approach to like doing an ad on Warpcast that doesn't feel addy or very spammy, but also rewarding those who shared it. So essentially you set a budget. The budget is built in to the frame. And then when somebody shares your frame, they receive a portion of rewards from anyone who then clicks that frame. And if you click and claim on that frame, if you do whatever the action is, whatever the rule is, and for this, it was follow CastOut, then you can claim a small degen reward. It's 5 degen. So in terms of like, if you're trying to drive traffic to a channel, this was really helpful for a very small budget. And it went from, I think we had a little over 300 in the CastOut channel, and then we ended up with over 1,200 within less than 30 minutes. It was really fast. And then I kind of went through the followers to kind of see, okay, what quality am I seeing in here? Can this be botted? Can, all those kinds of things. And it looked all like real people because it happened so quickly. I think and because it's so new, it would be very difficult to have something ready to go to bot it. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it will come. But for now, it feels pretty authentic and it was pretty useful. And I was impressed with, the performance, the ROI on this. So go check it out. Spotlight.
Very cool.
Very interesting. Yep. Very cool. I was surprised and pretty impressed at the performance on there. And I know there's a lot of, last week we were looking at, this was Snickerdoodle. Last week we did Spotlight. So I've been experimenting with different things and just seeing what kind of, what's working, what's not, what feels authentic and doesn't feel spammy and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I know Callow is working on something similar as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And hasn't been, I don't think it's been dropped yet.
But and I think Artloo has also been working on something too. So I think there's a lot of different experiments in this area of like, how do we, first of all, do ads in the right way? Like when you're trying to get somebody's attention, we should be paying for that attention, in my opinion, rather than I'm going to give you this free thing. You're going to give me all your data and then I'm going to share it with the world, which was Web 2, right? And you're going to have no control over what you get. Yeah. This is a total opt-in and doesn't have an ongoing repercussion, like where now you're going to see every, there's, very minimal intrusion. So,
yeah. And in Web 2, it has to come from the platform because the platform is the only one that knows information about you.
Right.
So in Farcaster, the graph is open, your data is open. So we should theoretically be able to have lots of people in this space. And
absolutely.
And you've got connected wallets and natively you've got your kind of the currency natively built in, and it should be a lot easier to split rewards.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is one of these things where there's certain things that we definitely can see how crypto fixes it, right? Or at least helps the situation and makes it a little bit less extractive and more rewarding. So yeah, so that was really cool. This from Colin. Yesterday, we launched a beta version of the new Ponder web app where we'll be extending the best content from every channel on Farcaster. Here's a quick three-minute walkthrough of the curation mechanism. We'd love your feedback as we continue to mold the experience. So check this out. This kind of came from the Seed Club cohort and demo day. So I got to see a little bit of this when watching demo day last week. And also Unofficial is doing something similar, but not exactly, where they're doing some data curation. And I'm hoping we can chat with Heavyweight at some point soon when she's awake.
Did Heavyweight ping you Friday morning?
Yeah,
did you get in touch with her?
Yeah, she slept through. Yeah, she slept through the show. That's okay.
She deserves it. She deserved to sleep in.
She had a very busy 3 months and a very busy day the day before. So it was. I thought she was going to say no when I asked her. So I was not that surprised. But this is very cool. I love that there are multiple projects focusing on curation of content and making it better and easier for us to discover the good content that's out there. So yeah, exciting stuff. Other launches, Johnny Mac, excited to announce STP v2, the newest version of the protocol that powers Hypersub. So lots of new things that they're adding to Hypersub. And
that stands for Subscription Token Protocol.
Yeah.
Not Stone Temple Pilots.
Not Stone Temple Pilots. Or maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe he is a big Stone Temple Pilots fan, as I am.
I feel like he would be.
He could be. He could be. He could have been on purpose. So I'm excited to mess around with some of the new updates because I think it will be very helpful to our Hypersub. And meeting with Johnny to kind of go through those. In other news, Interface, speaking of Hypersub, introducing Hypersub integration. Now you can discover subs via Explore tab and under collectibles in user profiles, subscribe or mint more time directly from the app, see expiration date for your subs, get notified when someone subscribes to your sub, see what friends subscribe to. So I thought this is really cool. I love Interface. I think it is so powerful. It feels a little creepy at times. At first, I was like, I'm creeping on everybody's wallets, and usually it's much more manual process. Not that I don't always do that anyway, but it's so helpful and so powerful. Like I love seeing when I see a bunch of people I know are minting something. I'm like, oh, what's going on? It's really gives some useful discoverability. Speaking of discoverability, and I love that they've integrated Hypersub too. So very cool. Just keeps getting better. And I do want to mention this, speaking of discoverability and new people. Another friend of mine from my old job, my other job, Rocky Guy, is now on Farcaster. So a warm Farcaster welcome to Rocky Guy. Scott runs the Runway program in the School of Entrepreneurship, our incubator of sorts for the students. Rocky Guy, go check out Founders. It's a treasure trove. And you all may also like Engineering in July. So go give him a follow. And also now he has a great name to sell to Elon, should Elon ever find his way here. And similarly, you were trying to bring an IRL friend on here. So this from Adrian. When I try to bring my IRL friends here, just logged into Farcaster. What's yoink? That was so funny. How do you even explain it? So yeah. I will not be trying to onboard any of my family and friends when I go back up home.
She'll be thrilled that she's featured on the show. And I didn't actually know.
And it was all me.
I don't know if she knows I casted her text message today.
Funny. Couple more quick things, and then we are going to introduce the cast out. We're going to run a smidge over, but did you see that list of things that they released last week? We're going to show the new cast out challenge. This from W. Benz. Only 1 week remains to be part of the first ever on-chain summer buildathon and have a chance to take a crack at 200 ETH in prizes. So please take a look at this if you are building something on Base for on-chain summer. Last call for this is this week. And from a couple of our friends, speaking of CastOut friends, Kristen, this is from the Beef Chris and Barthead show. Kristen, and I'll be back next week with Art Lou for the bcbhshow for a tell-all retrospective. I learned a lot from this game that applies to work and life. Hope to share useful learnings with y'all. Maybe I'll let Art Lou talk a little. So this is tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. And I'm really excited to see what Kristen has to say about CastOut and also just in general as to what's going on. And then from Ted, this was new drop featuring V on long cast frames and power badge discoverability. Devs, give us feedback on our synthetic content concept. Warning, first 5 minutes cover the toe spacer moment. Shout out Keckers. Yeah. Ew. And I haven't had a chance to listen to the whole episode, but I have to say the first part where they're talking about toe spacers is pretty funny. So go give that a listen. And now it's time because we are down to the final 4 of CastOut, the game that we've been playing for the month of June. And you are one of the 4, as well as I see Toady Hawk in there in the chat. He was in there earlier. So here's our final 4, Grace, Toady, Cameron, and Adrian. And Toady did point out that he's the only one with his first and last name in his user handle, not his real name. Some people need to know it. And this was a hint to what you're going to be playing, which is Super Dunk. And let's take a look at this. GM Farcaster's On-Chain Summer continues with CastOut. And it's our final week. We are down to the final 4 players, each trying to outwit, outplay, and outcast for a chance to win 100,000 DGen. For the final challenge, the players will compete in Super Dunk by Pinata. But this isn't just a game of skill. They'll need to recruit other players on their team, and the cumulative score will determine which player wins immunity. The player at the top of the leaderboard at 11 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday will win immunity, and 2 of the other 3 will be casted out. Yes, it's another halving. If you're not a cast-out player, you can still play along. Back your favorite player on bracket.game. Plus, for this challenge, you too can play Super Dunk and help your favorite player try to win immunity. Are you ready and on? Let's outwit, outplay, and outcast this on-chain summer with CastOut. And thank you to our premier partner, Pinata, sponsor of both GM Farcaster and CastOut, and the creators of Super Dunk. Learn more about their Farcaster dev tools at pinata.cloud. Okay, so Super Dunk is going to be the final challenge in CastOut. And I'm really excited to see how you all do because it's not just your own skill. So anyone can choose one of these 4 players to play for. So you can all give a shot. And if you are able to hit the buzzer in 30 seconds, then your score adds on to one of these 4 players. So are you ready, Adrian?
I am so ready. I
so ready.
I'm a little nervous. So we played this game at ETH Denver, if you remember, and I dominated.
That's right.
If you don't believe me, we have GM Farcaster videos where there's actual proof of my world domination when it came to basketball. But it's a little bit of a popularity contest. Grace, sorry, not sorry. I think Grace may struggle with her small, tiny.
You're forgetting something. You're forgetting something. She has the whole wow. The whole wow drive on her side.
I don't think WoW had the strong bonds that Mole
Oh boy.
had. I'm just
Ooh,
saying. So
fighting
we'll
words here,
see.
people. Fighting
I
words.
know. But I'm very scared of Toady has like an army, it seems like, just like waiting to support him. And Cameron
Cameron literally was in the
is
army and knows how to rally people too.
like
So look out for
literally.
Cameron.
So we shall see.
I think this could
Adrian,
go.
I've got my
I think
Adrian hodlers. We'll see how much they care.
the Adrian Hodlers could bring it home, but the I think that any of these four can take this. I think it's really just about, can you motivate enough people to go play the game, really? Because, or are you that good at the game also? So there's two
I'm
ways
not.
to play this. You can try and, game it yourself, or you can try to bring in people who can help you game it. So no bots allowed, but this time you can use ringers. So there you go. Like, you're encouraged to find yourself some ringers who want to help you out. So Doofy is a bot. So no botting. I think I checked you. You're not a bot. You're a build-a-war.
Maybe I should use my platform. Maybe I should use my platform to tell people that Cameron, Toady, and Grace have been cheating, and I've been playing very honestly. And if you care about the honest player, you should play for Adrian. I'm just saying, if you care about the integrity and sanctity of CastOut, choose your player.
My God.
Red fox.
The fox. There's two foxes.
Red fox.
Red fox. Red fox. Turing test passed. Turing test. Yeah, you spelled that wrong. That's funny. And it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes. Whoever wins will have immunity, and then 2 of the other 3 will be casted out, leaving us with 2 for the final vote. The final vote will be done by the jury, which are the casted out players. So they're the ones who are going to be voting. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see how this all goes. And this is fun. So thank you. Let's go cast out. And then I forgot to show this before from Yes to Crypto when we were talking about interface testimonial. I'm amazed at how easy it is to creep on my colleagues. 5 stars. Exactly. Exactly. And with that,
well, a little behind the scenes inside baseball for people who don't do podcasts. We have the ability to pull comments from YouTube and show them on the screen, but we don't yet from Unlonely. Grace, we're going to get that right. But so we don't yet from Unlonely. And one thing I've noticed is the YouTube commenters, so positive, so nice. It's all, I love CastOut. Let's go. Good job. And then the Unlonely comments, I don't know. It's like, I muted the word CastOut. There's a lot. It's a lot more trolly and Unlonely.
It's a lot more fun. It's a lot funnier. I will say that. I will say that. I did like when I said that it's not that Toadie's full name is Toady Hawk. Links did say, I thought your full name was Toady Hawk Tua.
There's a lot of Tua comments.
There's a lot of that in there. It is pretty
LOL,
funny.
YouTube nerds are lame. We can't pull that on the screen, but I can read it and let you YouTubers know. But
I have to say, I enjoy the chat quite a bit. So if you are a regular listener, but don't make it here live, jump in here. And yes, so
have fun
Miriam
being
must be in both.
off-chain.
I think Miriam is in both places.
Have fun being off-chain YouTube dorks.
This is the YouTube dorks feel like this. How dare you? There's only 2 of them today. Oh, there's 3. I'm like, oh, there's a third. So anyway, that is it. We went long. I knew we were going to. The list was crazy today, and we also are running up to the final CastOut show. So tomorrow we'll be back at noon for our CastOut edition, and we'll find out which 2 are left. Doofy is the off-chainer. Oh, there's fighting. There's fighting between the 2 chats right now, and it's hilarious. Hey, if you're watching this on Twitter, you can your comments also show up. So if you want to throw anything on there, Twitter, to jump into the war. This is really funny. And we can't show. B card is a bot coming from the Dwoofy in the Unlonely chat. So there you go. This is hilarious. Oh, Lynx is here.
Yeah, use and just so you know, if I was truly cheating and rigged this game, I would not choose to show this comment that is accusing me of cheating. I am transparency. Someone trying to throw me under the bus and kill my reputation. I'm not cheating. I am merely playing the game.
and you're coaching her.
With you coaching me.
You're one of her big coaches. Like that's how she's even
literally my
game.
number one, and my literally my number one cast out coach is Lynx. So
yeah, there you go. And Kristen, welcome to the chat. I don't know if
your reputation down with me.
Kristen, I don't know if you just got into the chat, but we did shout out your show that is coming on tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be back with Cast Out Edition at noon, and right before that at 11 a.m. Eastern, go check out the Kristen and Art Luth show, which I can't bcbhshow. Show. I think I got it right this time.
Chris and Barthead show. Bartlett.
Okay.
Barthead.
Yeah.
Bartlett,
something like that. Can we please let's find you a new name? We need to find you a new name. I can't take it anymore. But anyway, the BC Octa show. Okay. Well played. Well played. So we mentioned it like 3 times. We tried not to at all.
We can't escape it.
There was just no way. There was absolutely no way. All right,
Let's bring
everybody.
The video up. Let's bring the video up and talk about it.
No, let's not. Let's just not go that far. With that, everyone, it's been fabulous, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.